Okay, could somebody just let me know that they can see a screen that
Yes,
says
we can see your screen, Richard. Thank you.
Yes,
great.
we can see it. Thank you.
Excellent, thank you. Well, again, apologies, and let's crack straight on. This is a guide 2 years 10 and 11, primarily for parents and students who are currently in year 9. But if you're in one of the lower grades, then that's absolutely fine. It's always good information to have. This is what to expect in year 10 and how to go about using the timelines to make preparations to have conversations about year 10 and making choices. And also there is some relevant information here for current year 10s as they go into year 11 after the end of this year. Okay, so the International General Certificate of Secondary Education, that's what it stands for, IGCSE. It's run by Cambridge Assessments International. These are the basics of it. It's a subject curriculum organised, obviously, by subject, set by Cambridge Assessment International. It's a 2-year course of study. It is internationally recognised. It's one of the most widespread examination systems in the world. Students, generally speaking, take between 6 to 8 subjects and examinations. I just want to talk a little bit about why to take examinations, because obviously if you do take examinations at the end of the year, of the 2 years, this is by choice. You're not absolutely compelled to take exams, but there are some pretty good reasons for taking exams, and I just wanted to set them out here. One is it's good practice for exams taking in general. So the next time after the IGCSEs that you would be taking exams would be in the International Baccalaureate Diploma. And then examinations, if we are at university, are a common part of most university courses. I've written the word other systems down here. If you know, for example, that you will be returning to your home country or to another country where IGCSEs are recognized and needed for entry into a different school, for example, obviously taking IGCSEs would make sense in that case. I know of a few students who've moved back to Malaysia after a few years in Indonesia, and it's very, very useful for gaining entry to many schools in the Malaysian system. And then, of course, UK universities they will be interested. They will look, even though what they're really looking at is they're looking at your IB diploma score, but looking generally at your performance from year 10 onwards. They will definitely take note of examination results, even though they don't actually come into to play for your applications. Got some compulsory courses for you: English or English as a second language, mathematics, coordinated science, Bahasa Indonesia, Mandarin or Indonesian as a foreign language, and global perspectives. That's in the compulsory courses in year 10. And then we have some options for you as well, so you can make choices from these subjects: art and design, economics, physical education, design, technology, and music. And often 2 or more of these subjects will be lined up against each other, but we have to decide that a little bit closer towards next academic year, depending on the numbers of students that have shown interest in any given courses. And so some of the courses you won't be able to pick 2 of them together, but we'll get you more information as we get closer to the date. So the assessment timeline and types of assessment looks like this. In year 10, it's internal assessment only. But as with exam week, if you've done exam week before at ACG School Jakarta, you'll know that we run them along IGCSE exam guidelines. So internal assessment only, but in the style of an IGCSE external exam. And then reports, obviously, same as for everybody else, comes out in December and June. And examination assessment results are always given separately from your semester results. Year 11, mock examinations will be in March 22, and the external examinations calendar is set by Cambridge Assessments International, but generally speaking, the end of April throughout May and into June is when the external examinations are set. We still don't know at this present moment in time exactly the arrangements for May, June examinations set up, but we will obviously share that information with you as we receive it from Cambridge. Some courses have work that is also submitted in a portfolio style, as well as some are part exam, part portfolio, for example, PE, English, music and art. All right, this is probably one of the most important points, even though it's not directly related to IGCSE. When you get into year 10, you are starting the recorded evidence and contributions towards the high school diploma. And it's very important for year 9 students to understand that every semester until you graduate in year 13, you will have a range of courses that will give you opportunities to gain credits, which will allow you to be awarded the high school diploma. This is different from the International Baccalaureate diploma. Most high schools around the world have their own version of the high school diploma, and you will have to do different things, different numbers of subjects, and you'll get different values of credits for those subjects in order for the school to award you the diploma, and that diploma says that you've successfully graduated from high school. So it's really important that going into year 10, everybody knows that all of these subjects, all of the semesters from this point on, they really do count. So how do we break it down? Starting year 10, this is where the transcript begins. That's a record, that's an official record of the credits, grades and credits awarded. So 1 credit is awarded for the successful completion of a full year course. So that's half a credit for each semester successfully completed. Obviously, at ACG, School Jakarta, we issue reports every semester. So that's how we meter out the credits as well. It is entirely possible to not do particularly well in one subject in semester 1 and not get a credit maybe, but then actually to get things all sorted out in order to get your credits in semester 2. Obviously, nobody would be aiming for a situation like that, but in some subjects it is possible to do that. Students should achieve a 2 or the letter equivalent on the IGCSE grading scale as an F or higher to be awarded a subject credit. So unfortunately, if you get a G or a U or an N at IGCSE, you will not be getting the credit. So really important, I think, that everybody knows that going into year 10, being proactive with your teacher, making sure that you're getting all of your assignments in, that you're making sure that deadlines are adhered to from day 1 of year 10, so that we make sure that we've got all of those credits and nobody is in any danger later on in high school of possibly not being awarded the high school diploma. But virtually all universities that I'm aware of, some non-university post-compulsory education courses, they all demand a high school diploma one way or another. And most employers, to be frank with you, they will be wondering about a student who hasn't got a high school diploma, because it does cast doubt on what was going on while you were at high school. So really important that we pay attention to getting these credits. We need 24 credits over the 4 years, and that pie chart there shows you in picture form what we need to do, but the next slide shows you in credits. So first language, you've got to get your 4 credits. So that's half a credit each semester in year 10, 11, 12 and 13. Mathematics, you need 3 credits. Second language, you need 3 credits. Sciences, you need 3 credits. And social sciences, so that's global perspectives, economics, psychology, and ITGS at DP level. They're your compulsory subjects. That's where you need to get. Those are 16 credits. If you did a quick bit of maths there, well done to you. So we've got a remaining 8 credits here. These are your optional subjects. Physical education is 1 to 4 credits. Obviously, this varies because different students are going to make different choices, different preferences about these courses. So you've got room for maneuver with these credits, obviously. The arts between 1 and 4 credits can be from the arts in order to graduate. Design tech 1 to 4. ITGS is obviously 1 to 2 credits because it's a diploma subject, and that will only take place. If you just give me 1 second, I'm just going to switch the phone off. Do beg your pardon, it's all going wrong this afternoon, isn't it? Theory of knowledge, 1 to 2 credits. Again, that's IBDP. Research paper or extended essay. Research paper is an ACG internal version of the extended essay. Again, that's 1 to 2 credits. CAS or community service, 1 to 2 credits. And a maths extra, 1 credit there. Okay, so what happens next? I put the 8th of December there. I'm sorry about that. Another error. It should have been the 6th of December because I'm running another one on the 8th. Got a bit confused there. This is the program presentation to parents and students. The week of the 3rd to the 7th of January. There'll be a refresher presentation for students in advisory, and the preference form will be distributed. It's called a preference form because you're not making final choices at that point, because final choices do not only, it's not only dependent on what it is that you want to do. We have to look at student numbers for courses to make sure that they are viable. So we will obviously we'll keep you informed as we move towards the end of the school year and making all of those choices finalized. Around about the 16th of January, preference forms will be returned, and then I will be having lots of conversations, individual conversations with students. That's precisely because when students are going into year 10, many of them don't really make the full connection between choices of subjects and potential university subjects. So for example, you might be thinking about being an architect, but for some reason not looking at art and design or design technology, which would be a mistake. So obviously conversations with students, if those students who have a real strong desire to head in a particular direction, that's a good opportunity for them to talk about these things. Or if you've got a much looser sense of what it is you want to do, then that's a good opportunity to flesh those ideas out with myself, with your teachers, and other people who can advise. Around about the 5th of February, round 2 preference forms are returned. Year 11 will be having their mock exams in March, and then round about the 1st of April, it's no joke, obviously, final preference forms are returned. Again, once we've gone past that point, we can make some changes here and there, but really we want students to be going away for the summer holiday, knowing full well what they've lined up, and it's all based on conversations and understandings about making the right choices for the student in line with what their skills and their talents are and what they're thinking about doing beyond year 13. So once we've wrapped up with our Q&A here today, we'll make the PDF of this presentation available in the usual Dropbox location, so that you can click on the Cambridge IGCSEs link here, and you can have a look at the website, look at the different subjects and what they involve, and the sample forms will be coming out by the end of semester 1 for you to think about your choices and have those discussions at home. It's important, I think, that you do have those conversations as early as possible, and if necessary, as often as possible. That's why we've designed this timeline the way that we have, so that you can keep coming back to myself and to the teachers involved, and have in-depth conversations about the matching up of what we're doing in school and what the possible aims and desires are of your son or daughter. Okay, so that's the last slide. I'm going to stop sharing there. I think we've got one question. Children have a choice, Bahasa and or Mandarin. That depends on the passport, I believe. I think if I go back to, I'm sorry, that's it, end my slideshow there. Compulsory subjects, Bahasa Indonesia, Mandarin, or Indonesian as a foreign language. So you can choose between one of those 3. And I'm looking for Q&A in the chat. There's none, but I got a raised hand from Leontien. I think
thank you.
Oh, there you are. You're welcome.
The whole IGCSE program, same as for IB, it's certainly new for me coming from Netherlands. I was wondering, in your presentation, you spoke about a minimum result of an F in order to get the score. But what is an F? How much is that? How can you rate? What can you compare it to under the current program?
Just let me. I'm going to tell you exactly what it is. If you give me a folder. If you look in the parent-student handbook, I forget which page it is, to be honest, but it's somewhere towards the back where it talks about the high school diploma. An F in IGCSE is a 2 in the IB diploma program, around about, this is the equivalence, and a percentage of between 30 and 39%. So that's the minimum.
Okay, but that's really low, yes. Okay.
Well, how do we think about this in a positive way? It is achievable, certainly.
Yes, it's very achievable. Yes, thank you.
Yes, you're welcome. Like I say, you know, there are in all curricular and examination systems, there are safety net grades that nobody wants to be aiming for. Nobody in their right mind is aiming for an F, unless, of course, in the previous year, for some reason, and there are lots of reasons why students could be getting a G, for example. But if you're looking at a G in year 9, and you do want to be aiming for an F or an E in year 10 on your way up. Do we have any more questions? It would appear no for the moment. Well, you know, I say this, I do recognize quite a few names here. So I think you all know that how I usually end the Q&A part, if indeed we are at the end, is that you can ask or send a question absolutely at any time, which is one of the reasons we start this whole conversational process about years 10 and 11, is to allow enough time for you to go away and come back with questions. Yes, I see that. Eric, thank you. Yeah, you've been here a few times before and nothing's changed, really. So certainly not from the IGCSE perspective. Okay. If there are no more questions, then we can call it a day. The presentation, this recording and the presentation itself will be made available to you in the usual Dropbox locations. And like I say, you'll get the forms, the preference forms sent electronically out to you. Mia will be sending those out before the end of semester 1. So essentially that means by December 17th, when we break up for the winter holiday. Okay then, so what are the different types of community services? Good question, Harry. So the reason that that slide differentiated between the two is that CAS, Creativity, Action and Service, is the name of a service program that the International Baccalaureate run. But obviously in ACG School Jakarta, we like to extend a community and service program down into the rest of high school. So that's a difference in terminology. So creativity, action and service is trademarked, I think, by the IB. But we do like to see students involved in community and service. And these are lots of different things. Eco Warriors is probably the most well-known ACG School Jakarta. We have cleaning up the streets, those fantastic days. I remember in my early days at Jakarta, getting out there and picking up rubbish. With my daughter Molly was there that day. So anything that is related to giving service to the community. And we like to encourage that anyway, regardless of whether it gets you credits. You know, the high school kids getting involved with running maths classes for the young kids and doing reading sessions with them during literacy week and things like that. So it's more about community building than it is about gaining credits. But yes, that's the difference. Okay, so any more questions, please pop them directly to me, richard.todd@acgedu.com, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. And you'll expect an email from Mia soon about where to find the presentation and the recording and the forms before the winter break. Okay, thank you very much for your attendance. Sorry about the mess up at the beginning, and hopefully on Wednesday, if I see any of you on Wednesday, it'll be a lot smoother, a lot faster. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.